Welcome to Tzu Chi This Week. I'm Siri Su. Thank you for joining us. City volunteers overcome hurdles to bring relief goods to refugees in Serbia. Tzu Chi's housing project for quake victims in Bohol of the Philippines nears its completion. City volunteers in the United States clean up Manhattan Beach in California. City volunteers from 11 countries are in Serbia to lend their effort to the ongoing refugee crisis in Europe. Originally, the plan was to hand out 10,000 winter jackets in 10 days. However, due to tightened border control, the team did not find as many refugees in Beach and thus had to improvise.
At this train station in Serbia, a long line of refugees await the chance to get on the train heading for Germany. With their documentation in hand, some are able to get on the train, while others are rejected. At a refugee center across from the train station, those who couldn't get on the train are getting anxious. The 60-something senior lost one of her legs to a Russian explosive device. Having lost her entire family, the woman's last hope lies in going to Germany. Tens of thousands of refugees have gathered at the border between Greece and Macedonia. However, only some 200 to 500 are being let through every day. Meanwhile, the border between Macedonia and Serbia is only letting through a couple of hundred of refugees a day. Originally, Tzu Chi volunteers had planned on handing out 10,000 winter coats in 10 days. Adapting to the circumstances, the volunteers from 11 countries split into two teams to accomplish their goal. However, the team heading to the Adasevic refugee center encountered another setback. The team then decided to stay at the center in case they missed the next group of refugees. Back at the refugee camp, as soon as refugees heard about Tzu Chi's distribution, they quickly gathered to get their winter jacket. While interacting with the refugees, the volunteers made sure to pass on their message of love.
The size?
L sizes.
L size. No, because our size small.
With over 300 refugees to serve, the workload was more than what the volunteers anticipated. Concerned about the situation, Tzu Chi's distribution will continue as planned.
In Malaysia's Kuching district of Sarawak, a fire recently broke out in a small village. Within half an hour, 2 homes were completely destroyed. Tzu Chi volunteers went to the village to offer assistance to 2 brothers who lost their home.
The smoke billowing from the homes can be seen clearly from a distance. Here in this village in Malaysia's Kuching district, 2 wooden homes have completely burned down. When Tzu Chi came to investigate the situation, they learned that the homes belonged to 2 brothers and their families.
We were both at work when it happened. I got a call from my wife saying, "Come home quick, there's a fire." When we got there, 70% of the home was already destroyed.
After the fire burned through the brothers' homes, it is estimated that nearly $5,000 was lost in property damage. It is initially suspected that an electrical wire sparked the massive blaze.
My eldest son has a handicap. Thankfully, his younger brother made sure he made it out, and they are both safe.
Money and possessions can always be replaced. Fortunately, among these 2 families of 9, there were no serious injuries. For now, the brothers have no home to return to and will have to stay with relatives.
Of course, we have a plan, but the problem is finances. For now, we will just have to wait.
To assist the families, Tzu Chi volunteers provided blankets and about $500 to help the brothers begin rebuilding their lives. With compassion from others, these 2 brothers will make it through this difficult time. Taking a bamboo coin bank from volunteers, they are also eager to pay some kindness back once they are able.
In Mozambique, heavy rains caused severe flooding across the country in January of last year. Since then, many flood victims have been forced to relocate to higher grounds and stay at makeshift homes without beds. Responding to their needs, city volunteers have visited the affected residents to give out portable Jingsi folding beds. City volunteers, who usually come to deliver rice, have surprised the residents by bringing gifts they desperately need, folding beds. The residents were eager to find out if the bed is durable, asked a heavy resident to try lying on it. Then they're thrilled by this gift, since heavy rains caused severe flooding across Mozambique in January of 2015. Floodwaters have not receded completely. As a result, residents in Matanda were forced to relocate, putting together makeshift homes with old canvas and bamboos and sleeping on the ground. The solitary senior will also be able to sleep better. The folding bed is a life-saving gift for her, who has been making do with a broken bed. Meanwhile, this family has lost their home in the flood. The volunteers not only brought them folding beds, they also gave the family daily supplies and put new clothes on them. Then the young volunteer promises to help them rebuild their home.
Oh, really? How do you do? You want to...
Do you want to come with me? Yes.
Really? You want to build a house?
The local volunteers who are distributing the beds are also victims of the flood. Nevertheless, they dedicated themselves to surveying disaster and giving out supplies. This time, they also make sure other flood victims receive the folding beds first. As the local volunteers extend their assistance to flood victims, they have become on the giving end and relish in the joy of giving. In the aftermath of an earthquake that struck the island of Bohol in the Philippines in 2013, Tzu Chi worked with the local government to help residents rebuild homes. In the town of Inabanga of Barangay Riverside, the project of building prefabricated houses is expected to be completed in April this year. Next, we revisit the town and take a look at some homes that were damaged in the quake.
If it were not for Tzu Chi's request, these residents would never have come back to their old neighborhood. This was originally the Riverside Barangay community, and a familiar setting to these residents. But since the shock of the earthquake 2 years ago, people have all left. Emily's husband, who works with bamboo for a living, returns to the area every day to work, but he never stays long.
Dito sa bahay namin kasi yung bahay namin maraming crack.
We were really afraid to stay here because there were many aftershocks. So we always worry there will be another big earthquake and the house might collapse and crush us.
With homes destroyed and crumbling, many have been struggling these past 2 years. Tzu Chi and the local government have cooperated to provide prefabricated houses for 70 households of Riverside Barangay. The residents are eagerly awaiting the day they can move in. Since June of last year, 70 prefabricated houses have been built on this 1.9-hectare plot of land. The structures are on elevated land with drainage ditches located all around to prevent future floods for this community. But the cooperation of the Tzu Chi Foundation and the local government doesn't stop there. Plans for a school, a church, and public sanitation are all in development.
We are all very happy. Tzu Chi has made it possible for residents to have their own homes. Everyone has done a lot of work, cooperating with the provincial and local government to make this all happen.
There is still some time before April when residents may officially begin to move in. However, there are already quite a few people cleaning up the homes and the landscape in preparation before moving in.
Our home was destroyed in the earthquake, but we're very happy thanks to Tzu Chi. They've helped us rebuild our community, and these homes are beautiful. We're all busy cleaning and getting ready because we're so excited to be moving in and to have our own home once more.
Sobrang happy namin, masaya kami ma'am na andito yung bahay.
Since the 7.2 earthquake in October of 2013 damaged numerous homes in Bohol, Tzu Chi, the local government, and local residents have been working hard to rebuild. Although the work hasn't been easy, all have persevered, and the residents' dreams of a new start with new homes will become reality.
In New Taipei City, Tzu Chi volunteers in Xindian hosted a gathering to welcome newly certified volunteers. At the event, kitchen volunteers served 12 vegetarian dishes that are both delicious and good for health. In addition, the newly certified volunteers also share their aspirations for the new year. Certified as Tzu Chi volunteers before the Chinese New Year, these people have learned to humble themselves as they take on Tzu Chi's missions.
I feel that I am different now. When I wear my volunteer uniform, I must make others feel that I represent Tzu Chi, not myself.
Another volunteer, Gao Shixing, who worked as a temple acolyte, changed his way of cultivating blessings after taking part in a sutra adaptation in a year-end blessing ceremony 2 years ago.
I feel that Buddha's teachings can be applied to our life, so I join everyone at all kinds of Tzu Chi activities. I've discovered how everyone is very dignified and pious.
At the gathering hosted by Tzu Chi volunteers in Xindian to welcome newly certified volunteers, recycling volunteers are also invited to enjoy lunch together. The 12 vegetarian dishes served are unique and delicious. In addition, the kitchen volunteers make sure they're good for health as well. At Tzu Chi, regardless of seniority, everyone is ready to give of themselves wholeheartedly while supporting their Dharma family. Since the weather is getting warmer, volunteers from the U.S. Tzu Chi headquarters recently organized an environmental cleanup effort at Manhattan Beach in California. The group of about 70 volunteers also included Shi Shao, who also seized the chance to introduce Tzu Chi to people.
With winter ending and warm days increasing, volunteers and Tzu Shaos in Southern California made a trip to Manhattan Beach to clean up the garbage that has piled up over winter. About 70 volunteers showed up in uniform to support the effort, which drew interest from local beachgoers.
This is my second time at the beach cleanup. Whenever we pass by other people who are playing volleyball, they always ask us, oh, who are you part of, or like, what are you doing this for? And we always answer like, oh, we're Inland Tzu Sao, and we are doing this to help the community, to make it better. And they're like really astonished about it.
Parents of the Tzu Shaos also came out, eager to join the effort.
I'm really thankful that the beach and Tzu Chi have given us this opportunity to spend time with our kids while also learning to practice environmental conservation. We found that most of the things discarded on the beach are styrofoam and plastic. This really makes me think we should try to reduce our use of these things in our lives.
As the cleanup progressed, some Tzu Shaos were forward-thinking, considering how to improve effectiveness in the future.
I didn't like how it was like so disorganized. Everyone was like running around, being by themselves. And I'm pretty sure we could do better on that next time.
In China, the Shekou Industrial Zone in Nanshan of Shenzhen is one of the first industrial zones developed since the Chinese economic reform. In September of last year, local Tzu Chi volunteers have turned a dilapidated building into the Tzu Chi Shekou Environmental Education Center, inspiring residents to protect the environment. To celebrate the opening of the Tzu Chi Shekou Environmental Education Center, volunteers replaced firecrackers with the sound of stepping on plastic bottles. Next, they hold 11 volunteer training classes to invite all to join the effort of recycling.
Everyone has the responsibility to protect the earth. It is not too late to learn about this now. We can do more recycling and then influence more people.
After joining the training class today, I now know how to teach my children by setting an example to them and people around me.
The Tzu Chi This Environmental Education Center was originally a dilapidated building that has been abandoned. After its opening last September, many residents have taken action to protect the environment.
When I cook, I use a lot of plastic bags to throw away trash. From now on, I want to use less plastic bags. I will start with myself and every little action I take.
I plan to place this at the entrance of my apartment building. I will collect the old batteries from every household and bring them to Tzu Chi's recycling station.
Practicing environmental conservation, residents also inspire their family and friends to follow suit, which is extremely valuable in protecting the environment. In our next report, we meet a restaurant owner in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, who used to love eating meat. However, he currently runs a vegetarian restaurant and has been embracing vegetarianism. Let's take a look at how he changed.
Once I took a bite of my neighbor's vegetarian food and loudly claimed that it made me sick. How could anyone eat such disgusting food? It was tasteless.
In the past, Annie ate only meat and disliked vegetarian food. He was a chef and opened a buffet restaurant. His wife had tried to persuade him to be a vegetarian, but it was in vain. Then it was his mother's sickness that changed him.
A few months ago, his mother became sick, so we took her to a nearby clinic. The blood test showed that she had some terminal illness, so he vowed to the Bodhisattva that if his mother's next blood test turns out negative results, he'd be a vegetarian.
His decision to be a vegetarian was to fulfill his vow, but it later also improved his health. Thus, An Heng Yan became more confident in being a vegetarian.
After I turned 40 years old, I became sick quite often. I would get sick every month. But after I became a vegetarian, I don't become sick often.
The couple now sells vegetarian food, but it also fulfills his sense of achievement.
When I was selling meat, I didn't care if you came to eat it. I simply cooked it and sold it. But now I sell vegetarian food. If non-vegetarians would eat in my restaurant, I will become happy.
An Heng Yan will use his vegetarian food to form good affinities with his customers, so more people will become vegetarians.
At the home of care recipient Tan Siu Kyu in Malaysia's Bukit Mertajam area, there was originally only an outhouse. However, several years ago, the structure collapsed. With the help of former village head, local Tzu Chi volunteers took the initiative to install a bathroom in the home.
Measuring available space in the home of Tzu Chi care recipient Tan Siu Ki, volunteers and contractors discussed the placement and construction of the new bathroom.
I had no idea there were homes like this without a bathroom. When I heard, I really wanted to help and make things right.
Hearing of Miss Tan's situation, the former village head was distraught. Although retired, he wanted to ensure that her living situation was improved. He also recruited some friends to provide materials and help with the installations.
If you ever find anyone else in this situation, please come find me. As long as I'm able, I will be here to help. I believe giving help to others is its own reward.
The lady here has a lot of trouble getting around. It's too difficult for her to get up and leave the house just to use the bathroom. Today, we are going to put in a bathroom for her and help make her life a little easier.
In addition to the bathroom installation, volunteers also spent nearly a half day cleaning up the mess that had accumulated. Now, the home is clean and spotless.
For many people, we may never encounter such a messy place like this, but I really believe that when we see the lives of the disadvantaged, we must realize how fortunate we really are. More than that, we should use our abilities and resources to help those people as much as we can.
After the bathroom has been installed, Tan Siu Ki's older brother gives it a fresh coat of paint. Thanks to everyone's help, Miss Tan and her brother can happily welcome the home's new look.
In different parts of the world, Tzu Chi volunteers held gatherings to celebrate the Lunar New Year in their respective region. While some celebrated the occasion with performances, others also prayed together for peace and prosperity of all. Next, we take a look at the celebrations in Australia, the United States, and South Africa. Residents have joyfully come to this Lunar New Year gathering held by Tzu Chi, even though it is held in prefabricated houses for the first time to save on expenses. Despite the change of venue, everyone still enjoyed the warm atmosphere and no one complained of the heat.
Everybody want to know about the city foundation. Everybody like to know about what is a foundation, what is a city. So city foundation is where we learn our children from the start.
Embracing the new year, the participants also seized the occasion to make donations, putting their love into action. Celebrating the Chinese New Year is a must for Chinese people, even if they're in the United States. And nothing works better than the opening of dragon and lion dances. However, securing the props proved to be challenging for these Tzu Chis. Next, the kindergarteners from the Tzu Chi Academy take to the stage to perform, while the junior students won applauses with their fan dance. This celebration is hosted by the Tzu Chi Austin Liaison Office. A celebration such as this is difficult far away from home. Participants also took a moment to pray for others across the world who are suffering because of disasters, for they know that they're blessed with peace in each other's company. The kneeling lamb, presented in Mandarin, depicts the true meaning of filial piety. It has moved the entire audience at the Tzu Chi Melbourne Liaison Office in Australia.
I found that it was very much focused on connecting back with your family and being grateful for your parents. Every year it has a different style of theme. So this year that was very touching.
This gathering after the Lunar New Year was filled with people who were grateful, and in turn some showed their gratitude by making a donation. Meanwhile, in Sydney, among the participants of the Lunar New Year gathering at the Tzu Chi Australia chapter, a group of former flood victims were invited to join.
And the work that you do around the world and in communities is truly awe-inspiring, and it's left me wanting to know more about what you do and what you believe and why you do it.
For those who have escaped suffering, gratitude for one's blessings only grows stronger. Like a global family, every Tzu Chi gathering is a reminder of the boundless love and compassion we all share. In Thailand, Tzu Chi volunteers have been holding regular free clinics on behalf of refugees since last January. At the most recent one, dental services were also offered using a medical van. With the service, refugees no longer need to endure toothache or other dental problems because of lack of money. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for joining us. See you next week.